Namaste everyone, my name is Vishnu and welcome to Vectorworks Guru. So this is an introduction video for Vectorworks, so let's start right away. So this is the interface when you install your Vectorworks for the first time. This is how it's going to look like. Not exactly similar because I've made a few changes in my palettes, the organization of my palettes. You can keep it however you want, just drag and drop. So I don't exactly remember how it used to look like when it was new. So you can change it according to your wish. So what exactly it is Vectorworks? Vectorworks, I would say, comprises of three components, one of which is 2D drafting, which is similar to AutoCAD. The second one is 3D modeling, which is similar to SketchUp, which we'll talk about each of them in detail in further videos. The third one I would say is BIM, which is similar to Revit or ArchiCAD or any other similar software. So let's start with an introduction of each of these components. So 2D components, you can see a lot of it in the basic palette, or if you somehow delete it, let's say, you can just always go and get it from this tab here, Windows, Palettes and Basic. You'll find it here. So let me just drag it up a little bit. Yeah, so this is the most common selection shot tool. You can hit it with X. You're in any other tool, just hit X and you'll be back to your selection tool. So let's start with the basic introduction to the 2D components of Vectorworks. So just take this palette. You can always drag a palette and make it a floating palette. So the keys are very simple. I'll also attach a shortcut file, the link for the shortcut file of Vectorworks in the description. So do download it if you're planning to learn it. And it's always handy to keep the shortcuts at your fingertips. It's very easy and it's hard at the beginning, but you'll get used to it soon. So let's start with the basic keys. One is for text. So just use the key 1. So hit 1 on your keyboard, tap it on your screen and just write whatever you want. 2 is for, you can also learn it with this shortcut. So a line has 2 vertices. So when you hit 2, you can just make a line. Simple. So when you hit 3 on your keyboard, you get this arc tool. So a arc has 3 vertices, so 3 for arc. A 4 is for rectangle, 4 vertices, rectangle, easy. And now 5 is for polyline. You also have different options to make a polyline. I don't know, this is a weird shape, whatever. And then 6 is for a circle. 7 is, let's say you have made a rectangle and now you want to fillet it. You hit 7 on your keyboard, give it a fillet radius, and you can fillet it. 8 is for a polygon. So polygon and polyline, I don't know what exactly is the difference, but I would say a polyline works better. Also, you can use polygon, like, let's just say now you have 2 geometries, 2 rectangles, and you have this intersecting rectangle as well. Now you don't have a geometry for this. Just hit 8 and use this bucket tool, inner boundary mode, hit it and you have this inner boundary mode. It's similar to boundary tool in AutoCAD. So pretty basic. And then 9 is for walls, which is a BIM tool, so we'll cover that later. So option 1 is for ladder callouts. Whenever you are annotating your plans, you need to put some details, specifications for different elements. So let me just make a basic geometry to explain how it works. So let's say this is a wall, so just hit option 1 and you can type whatever call out text. Let's just say it's a 9-inch thick stone wall. So this is how it works. You can edit it, and if you already have material specified, whenever you will hit option 1, you'll already have a list of call outs here. But now, since I have not used any materials right now, they won't be listed. So option 2 is for double lines, 2 is for line, and option 2 is for double lines. So you can just put the distance in here. Let's just say 5. So this is how you can do your basic AutoCAD drafting in Vectorworks. Just hit 2, make lines, hit 5, make polylines, or maybe let's say hit 4, make rectangles, hit 6, make circles. Let's say you want to offset a line. Let's make a line, just select it, hit shift hyphen, put in the distance, let's say 6, enter, click it, whichever direction you want to offset it. So these are the basic tools which you can use for 2D drafting. It's similar to AutoCAD when you are restricted to this particular palette. So these are the different tools, you can check them out. You can also view tools as icons and text, so it will be easier for you to remember, because in the beginning it's very difficult to learn them all. So these are the few tools which you can use. You can also put annotations, dimensions. Let's say you want to put dimensions on your geometry. Just let's make a line. Just hit N on your keyboard, and similar to any other drafting software, just make a dimension line. So these were few 2D components, two tools which you can use to make simple 2D geometry. There is more, we'll cover them in detail later. Let me just bring that palette back. Just put it in there. Okay, so I don't want text, icons are good enough for me. So let's see some 3D tools which Vectorworks has for us. So I'll tell you a shortcut key. Shift C is for this flyover tool. You can just, I'm using this pivot mode of flyover tool. Just hit Shift C, and wherever you pivot this, it will rotate around, it will orbit around that pivot. So let's make some 3D model. So 4 was for rectangle, so I'm gonna make a rectangle. So I have this enabled, so whenever I make a geometry, the push pull mode is activated automatically. So I made a rectangle, I can just push pull it right away. So right now I'm in wireframe view. Just always turn it to shaded. Oh no, it's shaded. I'm not using a fill for this. Okay, better. So now that I'm using a fill for this, so I'll see some shading in here. Then you just make a small circle. Now that I've deselected it, now I won't be seeing that push pull option. But if I select this push pull from this 3D modeling palette, I have this shading turned on whenever I hover it over this geometry. So I'll just bring it, tap it, and put in my distance, let's say 500. Okay, simple 3D modeling which we use in any other software. Let's just say we want to model it further. So whenever I make a geometry, it's always in this fixed plane, so I can't model it on this surface, on this face, or let's say on this circular face. So for this, what you do is you hit the backslash key, which is right above the return key on Mac, or the enter key on Windows computer. So now I have this shading turned on. It's highlighting the face on which the geometry is going to be made. You see? So I just select, I just hover that face on which I want to make my geometry, and it highlights this bluish color. and then I can make whatever I want. Let's say I want to make a polyline on this face, so I just hit 5 on my keyboard and make whichever geometry I want in this manner. So right now we don't want all of this, so you can either use the automatic command from here, or there's this if you can see this icon up here, this tells the same thing. You can either hit \/ or you can select it from there. So I want to see this dialog box again. You can select automatic plane or the layer plane. Layer plane is this XZ plane, so your cursor or your geometry will be restricted to this plane. But as soon as you hit \, you see it's switching. \/ is the shortcut key. You can always hit or shift to automatic plane mode to make a geometry. Okay, so let's just see a few of these tools. Flyover, I already told you. Shift C is a shortcut. You can pivot it, or there are other shortcuts as well. This one is similar to, I guess, Rhino. This is the pivot tool, which I think is great. One is taper face. So it works in this way. You just select a face, and this face is now fixed. This is the pivot. Around this face, the other faces that are adjacent to this face can be tapered. For example, if I put it this way now, this face can be tapered. Again, I want to use this face as pivot. I can pivot this face too in this way. Or this also works on circles. Let's say I want this face to be tapered and I want this to be bulged out a little bit, not that much, a little bit. So this is how you can use taper face. Let's just delete them. 3D locus is useful whenever you are making contours for your site. We'll study it in detail in some site modeling video. 3D polygon, just like a polygon, but it has 3 dimensions. We'll also review this object info palette and the navigation palette in a moment. Sphere tool, just like it says, it makes a sphere of whichever radius you want. Hemisphere, cone. These are very basic tools. Fillet edge. So let's just say you made this cuboidal shape. Just select some suitable radius for this. Let's say 40. Hit any edge, or let's say multiple edges. And voila, you have these nice filleted edges. Okay, let's see what else we have here. A chamfer edge similar to that. Oh, shell solid. So let's say this is a concept. Maybe not this. Too basic for us. Let's take a hemisphere. So you made a nice big hemisphere. So you want this hemisphere to work as a dome. So what you do is you select shell solid. You take a suitable thickness. Let's say 100. You select the face that you want deleted, and as soon as you hit the right arrow key, you'll have a shell of thickness 100, and the face that you selected is deleted. Now you see these lines are not very neat. This is not a exactly round surface. So what you can do is you go to the shaded menu, shaded options. You select the quality. Let's say high. You see it's far better looking now. So this is how you can use shell solid. Let's see another example. Let's make a geometry. I'm using shortcuts for all of this. 4 is for rectangle, and I have this selected. So as soon as I make my geometry, I have the push-pull mode activated. So this is it makes your drafting and your editing and your modeling very fast. So get used to shortcuts as soon as you can. So select it from the 3D modeling palette. Let's say 230 this time. Select the face, not this one, let's say this one, and hit the right arrow key, and you have this space carved out of this solid, and these are of 300 thickness. Let's see. Oh no, it was 230. We selected 230. So we have a shell of 230 thickness made from the solid that we just made. So another tool is extract. Let's say you have this geometry made, and you want to extract this face from this geometry. So just select extract, or select the face mode, surface mode from this, hit right arrow key, and you have this face extracted. Let's just give it a thickness so you can see. So this is our geometry that we just extracted. If you have a numeric pad, the one you have on your right side of the keyboard with numeric keys, you can use them to look different faces of your model. Let's say top view, front view, right view, left view, bottom view, and different views. It comes in very handy. So fifth one is for top view, and 0 is for plan view, 2 is for front, and so on. It comes in very handy when you are 3D, when you are in 3D, so you can look at different views, and it's very quick, very handy. So let's check out some BIM components now. So this house looking icon, this is for building shell. So just drag it up here and see what we have got in here. So wall, probably the most basic tool. Just or you can select it from building shell tool, or you can hit 9 on your keyboard. You can go to settings, change the thickness, let's say 230. You also have the option of loading different walls. Vectorworks has a huge variety of pre-loaded walls. You can select any one of them. Right now we'll just use the unstyled wall of 230 thickness, and then just go around making different walls. So this is, let's say, a small room. Let's just give a slab. Another very important feature of Vectorworks is that you can use any geometry, and not any geometry, the basic geometry that Vectorworks allow, to convert them into BIM components. I'll just give an example. I selected rectangle tool. I just hit 4 on your keyboard. Select make a rectangle. Activate selection tool, right click, and choose the select object from shapes option, and just select whatever object you want this rectangle to turn into. So right now I want to turn it into a slab, so I'll just select slab. I'll select delete source shapes. I don't want this rectangle, and I hit OK. So this now is a slab. So I'll just send it back. Command B is the shortcut to send back, or you can send it from here as well. Send to back, send to forward. So this is a slab, and these 4 are my walls. So I'll just use my flyover tool to look around. Pretty basic geometry. I'll just come back to my plan view. So these are walls. You can hit 9, make walls. Now let's put some doors and windows as well. So Option Shift D is the shortcut, or Alt Shift D probably in Windows. So that activates our door tool. You can also select it from our building shell tool. Here's the door, and here's the shortcut, Shift Option D. Select it. You can also change the width and different details. There's a ton of details that can be edited for our doors. Similar are the settings for Windows as well. So we want a 1200 mm wide door, 2100 height is fine, and I want it to be a bipart door. So let's just put it on our plan. Just hover over it, over your walls, and you can also change the orientation, in which direction you want it to open. Right now I want it to open inside. You can also flip it later on. Just select it and tap this arrow key. You can flip it, and you can also flip it from here. Just click flip. You can flip your door. And Alt Shift W is for Windows. Similar are the settings. Let's just say we want a 3 feet, or let's say 4 feet window. Height is, if you want a short heighted window, just hover over your wall and your window is inserted. You can insert as many as you want. You can also change the settings later on. Just select your window and change the width to, let's say, 1800. It's as simple as that. You also have different components. Slab, there is columns, there are stairs. Let's just review stairs for a while. There are various settings, various configurations. You can select any predefined configuration from in here. You can select the geometry, your stair width, your stair rise, the total rise, depth of treads, everything. And once you have given all the preferences, you'll have this geometry. You can just put it in here. So let us just delete it for now. Let's see how our building looks. So this is a very pretty basic 3D modeling or the BIM modeling that we have done just now. I hope you got a glimpse of how exactly Vectorworks works, the different components that Vectorworks offers us. So let's just review these palettes quickly. So this is the attributes panel. So let me make a rectangle. So how this rectangle is going to be visible on our sheet layers and how it looks in here, that is controlled by this attributes panel. So we have a solid fill in here. So because you have selected solid from here, if you select none, the fill is none now. Let's just select solid and then give it a color. So now this is in red color. Let's change it to some other color. So this is how you can give colors to your geometry. Now we want another one. Let's give it a white color, and we want the line thickness, the line weight to be more than this line weight is very less. We want to increase it, let's say. So these are the properties of the pen. So just increase it from 0.5 to, let's say, 0.7. We have a thick line. Now let's say you want to change the color of pen. Another quick shortcut, you can also make a duplicate copy of any geometry by dragging it while holding your option key or alt key. So whenever you're dragging it, you have this cursor. As soon as you hit option, you have this plus sign. So that plus sign means you're making a duplicate of it. So easy, very quick trick. Just select your geometry and select your color that you want on your geometry for the line. So you can change the properties of your geometry in this way. You also have the option of let's say if you make a line, let's give it a thickness of 0.5, and you want to change the line type. You select instead of solid, you can select any line type from here. Let's just select dashed. So now you have dashed line. If you want arrows or dots or any other symbol on the ends, you can always select it from line endpoint style and line start point style. You just select, let's select an arrow. So you have an arrow on this side. say the line a little bit more smaller. So you have this on the one end and an arrow on one end. You can select different symbols, whichever you want, in this manner. Very useful when annotating your plans. So this is the attributes palette. So now we have this object info palette. So every object, geometry or model that you select in Vectorworks, this object info palette displays its properties. So let's say right now we have the rotation selected to 0. I hit command equal sign for rotation. I rotate it to a certain degree, and now we have a rotation of this geometry to 24.48 degrees. So you can also do it from here as well. Let's say I want to rotate it 90 degrees. You can rotate it 90 degrees. You want to change the size of this rectangle. Let's change the size of this rectangle to this. You can use object info properties in many ways. It displays which class it is in, which layer it is in, which plane it is in, or you can give it materials as well. You can change the properties. We'll look at it later. You can also use object info palette to apply textures to your geometries. Let's just make it solid. So you have to go in 3D. Let's extrude this rectangle a little bit, and now you want to apply some texture on this model, this 3D geometry. So let's go to render. So now this is an extrude. We made a rectangle. So right now this is a rectangle. Now when I push it, when I make an extrude out of it, now this is an extrude. So you select a circle, it will show circle. You make a polyline, it will show a polyline. So let's just I'll just select my 3D geometry. I'll click this texture option. Let me just make it a little bit smaller so you can see the texture clearly. Okay, so I'll just select it. I'll select this. Now you have this texture in your geometry from 3D, from the renders tab of your object info palette. So let me just go to my plan view. Let's delete it. Now let us review the navigation palette. So for this, what I'll do is I'll just hit Command Shift O on my keyboard. So this opens this organization tab. So this has all my tabs from my navigation palette. This is for classes, this is for layers, stories. So these are my classes. You can see it written here: classes, design layers, my sheet layers, my viewports, my saved views, and my references file. So an easier way to edit all of these is to hit Command Shift O. It opens your organization palette. So these are my classes. We'll study in detail what classes and layers and stories are in the coming videos. So this was the basic introduction of Vectorworks. I hope you got a brief understanding of how it works, the different components of Vectorworks, how we can change the visual attributes of our geometry, of our walls. We'll look at each of these tools in details in the coming videos. So thank you for watching the video. See you soon.